Hello, and welcome to our program, Astronomy for Everyone. The topic for this month's show is the program of the Solar System Ambassador. And with me here in the studio to talk about that is one of our own AFE team members, Liam Finn. Hi, Liam.
Hi, Don. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. So, what is the Solar System Ambassador program?
Okay, well, the Solar System Ambassador program was started back in 1997, and it was initially called the Galileo Ambassadors. And it is part of NASA JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and its goal is using volunteers such as myself and other people around the US and the world to bring NASA's message and inform people about NASA's programs. We are scattered pretty much everywhere in all the 50 states. Right now we have 730 solar system ambassadors as of this year, and we only initiate them each year, at the end of each year, or in January a new set, and we initiate the new members, and we don't add people throughout the year.
I see. So it's just a one time at the beginning of the year, folks are brought in, and those who are leaving, I suppose.
Very few people tend to leave because it's too much fun. There's too much involved, and we love what we do. So people tend to join, and some drop off, but it's not that many.
Oh, okay. All right. So you did mention when it started back in the 1990s.
1997 was when it initially started.
Okay.
And it was called, as I said, the Galileo Ambassadors. And 2 years later, they renamed it to the Solar System Ambassadors.
Okay.
And has been running, this year is actually the 20th anniversary of the program.
Terrific. Now, what do solar system ambassadors do?
Well, we do a lot of outreach. As I said, we're volunteers. We do a lot of outreach. We go out and we talk. We do talks and presentations. We have, as I said, there's 730 of us, and we're scattered throughout the 50 states. We're also in Puerto Rico and Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, outside of the U.S. territories, we also have some who are U.S. citizens who have traveled overseas, some of which were in the military, who are solar system ambassadors before they traveled overseas. And we have some there based in places like the Netherlands, Nigeria, Germany, Japan, and even the Republic of Korea. So we're pretty much scattered. There's some of us scattered throughout the world.
Okay.
And what we do is we do a lot of various engagements. We in various different venues for different groups, such as I'll give you an example first of the count of how many engagements we do.
Okay.
Before I tell you the types. In 2016, in last year alone, we completed over 2,368 solar system ambassador events. Okay. So that's just in 1 year. Now, out of those 2,368 events, directly with individuals, direct contact with individuals, was over 500,000 people attended our events.
So those were the people you were able to impact as a total program with the solar system.
Well, that's directly. Indirectly, via social media, YouTube, websites, and various other like Facebook and so on, we actually have counts of over, in 2016 alone again, 28,884,987 people have been touched by the program in 1 year.
That's amazing.
So we're kind of busy.
I would say certainly the social media aspect of it really helps bump the numbers. I mean,
it does.
It's good to have that and to have the FaceTime with individuals one-on-one to really interact. I know, having done outreach in the past years with the club and other organizations, it's really a thrill to see the look on people's faces as you interact with them and they learn and become familiar with that particular subject matter.
Correct, yeah, and we do something similar. The Solar System Ambassador, to me, it's an extension of what, because I'm a member of the Ford Club as well, and to me, it's an extension of that. The Ford Club does a lot of outreach, and so do I, as part of the Solar System Ambassador program. Like, we do events such as we do statewide events such as new mission launches, mission landings and arrivals, and so on. Like, when we had, let's say, the Cassini mission when it initially was launched and when it arrived, and now with the Cassini coming up to the end of its life, we're going to be doing stuff around that, a lot of outreach around that. We also do other events like classroom events for youth clubs and individual groups, and so we do a lot of stuff like hands-on activities where we present, as you see the image that's up right now, we're talking about a specific mission, and we're showing samples of it. We actually do TV shows such as Astronomy For Everyone, where we talk about events, and we've already had a solar system ambassador on the program in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we do outreach events, and we basically tell the story of NASA to the general public in many different forms, through hands-on activities or via presentations, or like they showed an image a while ago of the rocket making and so on, and just general information about NASA, general presentations on NASA, like just set up tables with informational booklets and so on about the program and what NASA is doing today and their present active programs that they're involved in.
All right. You mentioned a number of organizations that you work with. Mm-hmm. Do you also work with scouting?
We can work with the scouting. I'm actually for the scouts. I'm actually a merit badge counselor as well. So I do that as part of the Ford Club and as part of the Solar System Ambassador program. I can do the outreach with scouting, and we can help them with their merit badges as part of their requirements.
Such as the astronomy merit badge?
Oh yeah, such as the astronomy merit badge and anything to do with STEM like science and so on. NASA is not just about space. It's about science and technology and engineering and math. And it's part of the program. We do outreach regarding all of that as part. It's not just the missions as well, but we also do STEM. It's also STEM outreach. And as part of the STEM outreach stuff, we cover stuff like we do science fairs, and we get involved with science fairs. We get involved in earth science, because NASA is heavily involved with earth sciences, and it's not just space only. So we get involved in doing programs and educational programs on earth science also.
Interesting. Earth science. Never would have thought. You think NASA, you think up in space.
Yeah, everyone does. Yeah.
Well, sure. Do you have an example of a earth science program?
Earth science programs would be like they'd be analyzing the moisture in soil. They analyze the ice crystals in the upper atmosphere, airflows and so on. These are all programs that they're being monitored via satellite in some cases, and others are actually being monitored on the ground, but they're involved in all those type of programs. It's not just space.
This is really interesting. It was much more involved than I was aware. I've known you for a while and a couple of other solar system ambassadors. One of our former colleagues, John Schroer, was a solar system ambassador, and it's a very involved program. And
as you said, everyone thinks NASA, everyone thinks space, everyone thinks rockets, and we are far beyond that. NASA itself is far beyond that, and the JPL is their primary focus is exploration and so on. That's one of the biggest area, but it's also involved in the earth sciences. It's also involved in STEM outreach, and NASA doesn't have the budget to do all the STEM outreach or to do the outreach they would love to do. That's the idea of the Solar System Ambassadors. We are representatives of NASA, of JPL, out in the public, and we volunteer to do this because of our love of science and because of what some of us are into astronomy, such as myself. Some of us are school teachers, professors. Other members are computer engineers, such as myself. So we're come from all walks of life. Some of them are I'm sure that some of them are bricklayers, and they do every type of job you can think of. But on the weekends, our love for science, or on the evenings, our love for science comes out, and then we put on our science geek hats, and we have at it, and we try and spread the word. Like the biggest one right now is coming up is the solar eclipse. So we're really busy with the solar eclipse.
It's coming up here in August,
yes.
So not far away at all.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a really interesting first part of our program. We're going to have to take a quick break. If you have any questions, please send us an email. We always ask you to do that. We like receiving those. And right after term of the month, we'll be back with more of this interesting discussion about NASA's Solar System Ambassadors.
Thanks, Don. The term of the month for June 2017 is NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. NASA has a flag. I didn't know that. They also have a motto, for the benefit of all. The first A in NASA Aeronautics includes research into aircraft design. It's a little-known thing. NASA's well-known stuff is the space programs, manned and unmanned. So here's the International Space Program. NASA also does scientific research, for example, into potentially hazardous asteroids. Here are some orbits. There are also planetary missions, like the mission to Pluto. Telescopes, like the James Webb Telescope, which should be launched in late 2018. There's also life sciences and ocean temperature and sea content, salt content missions. NASA has an education wing, and the JPL division roots the ambassador program for this month's show. That's term of the month, NASA. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Stephen. Welcome back to our discussion about NASA's Solar System Ambassador Program. Now, Liam, who can request a Solar System Ambassador for their event?
Well, pretty much anyone can request a Solar System Ambassador. You can actually go to the Solar System Ambassador website, which I believe is going to appear here on the lower screen any moment. Yep. You just go to solarsystem.nasa.gov, and from that website you can log in, or you don't have to log in. Sorry, you just go to the website. You get a map from the directory. The directory is the third option down there. You choose directory, and then there you'll get a map, a Google map, and that Google map will have a whole series of pinpoints. Zoom in to the area where you live, pick a pinpoint nearby, and you can click on the Contact Us right beside there, and you will actually reach out directly to that ambassador. And if for any reason you're not getting someone to respond to you, if for whatever rare reason it happens, you can just select somebody else and respond to them that way. And you can find someone in your area to talk about any of these outreach events that you plan to run. As I said, it's really busy right now with the run-up towards the solar eclipse.
Right.
Even though we do a lot of other outreach events, and I believe we have some slides on the outreach events, like such as how much you weigh on. We did events where we measure your weight and tell you your weight on different planets and so on.
Okay.
But for a solar eclipse, we're doing I have a couple of events already scheduled. In June, on June 17th, I'm in Allen Park Public Library from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. On July 13th, I'm in Northville Library from 7 to 8. I'm speaking about the solar eclipse. And also in the Novi Public Library on July 26th, between 7 and 8. I'm in there doing talks on the solar eclipse and about what caused the solar eclipse, similar to what you did in the show here in the last month or two, telling people about the eclipse and about about what's involved in the eclipse and so on.
The information and how to do it safely.
Yes, safety obviously is going to be paramount. And
yes.
And as one of the niceties of doing this program, for those who attend, they get solar eclipse glasses. That's who attends the event, so we give them out. NASA, courtesy of Google, who are paying for this, have supplied us with sets of eclipse glasses that we can actually provide to the public that attend our events.
That'll be great, because then you're going to want to show it to them, and then they've got to do it safely. So
yes,
and it's great that a company has stepped up to provide the funding to be able to hand those out to the participants. Now, the contact, is it when you click on the contact for a particular area, like for us, we're here in Metro Detroit, is it via email, or is there a telephone, or both?
It's a web form you fill out, and you fill out the web form, but it's actually not to the Solar System Ambassador group. When you select the person and you select an ambassador and you see their bio information, when you select that person, such as myself, the Contact Us sends an email directly to me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we then have a one-on-one conversation via. It sends me an email. I will then, whichever ambassador you reach out to, will then respond to that, and just open a communication with you and find out about your event and the dates. And as long as everything works out with regards to the dates and the times and their availability and obviously the subject matter, then we can work something out.
Schedule it up and...
Yeah, and if that person's not available, they will then ask everybody. They will then they'll either refer you to somebody else, or they will turn around and through the Solar System Ambassador Program ask all of the people in the area. They can ask us if anyone's available to do such an
Such as you're
event.
already tied up with another event.
Yeah.
Can someone else step in? And,
Yes, certainly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's possible. Yeah, so
That's great.
Either way, one way or the other, we'll find someone to help you with your event. But
Terrific.
ideally, it needs to be at STEM/NASA/astronomy science related, because that's what we're there to do. That's what we're there to advertise. Now, it could, as I said, earth sciences, it could be. Doesn't have to be, but it could have to be space, but it could be any of those.
Okay. Now, is there a lead time involved that you would recommend, so much time prior to an event? I know it can vary, obviously, and as you said, you're getting busy because of the eclipse, and then they've got the end of the Cassini mission coming up.
Yeah.
But is there a general rule of thumb?
Well, I will say for the eclipse as one object or one subject, it's going to be really hard getting anyone, especially on the dates of the eclipse or leading just before it, because half the people are going to be traveling for the eclipse. I think there's going to be so many people along the line of totality that when the eclipse is over, the U.S. is going to have a crease down the center. But
that 70-mile wide path becomes a crease.
it does, yeah. It becomes a new canyon all the way across the U.S. But besides that, for other events, I would say give yourself at least maybe a month's notice. It'll vary from...
The sooner the better?
Well, yeah, the sooner you notify them, the better. It'll vary from person to person. It depends on who you're dealing with and how busy they are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the ambassadors are not retired. They're actually they work full-time jobs.
So they have these day jobs that
they-
kind of get in the way?
Yeah, this daytime gets in the way of the fun stuff that we enjoy doing, which is just astronomy and science information. So yeah, the sooner you give, the more notice you give, the easier it is to schedule somebody. And again, if that person's not available at the time of your event, they can actually reach out to others and help you contact other ambassadors, solar system ambassadors, to find someone else in the area that might be able to assist you.
Now, is there any cost associated with this program?
Everybody asks that question. It's free. It's totally free. We don't charge a penny. We do it because we love it. We don't charge for coming out and doing talks. We don't charge for coming out and doing stuff. If there's materials involved, we might ask for you to provide the materials. But in most cases, like as I said, like talks and so on, and presentations, no, they're free. We do them because we enjoy it. And if we charge for it, we wouldn't be solar system ambassadors, because NASA is a government agency and is paid for by our taxes. We represent NASA, so therefore, while we're there as solar system ambassadors, we're treated like civil servants in a similar manner. So it's required to be free.
Yeah, well, you're right. We're paying our taxes, and that NASA, and just like the Hubble telescope, belongs to all of us.
Yeah, even though we don't have control of it,
No,
it
we
does
don't.
belong to us all.
But it does belong to us.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have it.
Well, that's great. It's good to see that a cost factor wouldn't get in the way of having an event, especially if you're trying to reach out to certain parts of the population where that could be a real issue.
Yeah.
Being free, there's no reason why anybody from more well-to-do areas or more economically challenged areas can't have the same program.
There is no difference. As long as you have a venue, we have it, and we agree on a subject to talk about. Like as I said, I mentioned some programs that I've already scheduled. I'm doing one later on in the year in around, I think it's October or November, in Farmington, regarding discovering life on other planets, or life in the universe. Okay. So that's going to be another one. And so we're not just talking about what's going on right now. We're talking about the possibilities as well as part of our programs. Because the biggest thing in science, and especially with NASA, it's not to say what you can do. it's all about dreaming up what you would like to do and what you would like to find, and you think outside the box and see if you can find a solution. That's how we found gravity. So Einstein thought outside, first of all, it was Isaac Newton thought outside the box. He didn't ask why the apple fell. He figured out, he wanted to know in detail what caused it to fall. Same came for Einstein. When he came up with his general theory of relativity, which has explained almost everything around us today in the physical world. It's all about going beyond, and there's no limits. It's just keep your mind open and be willing to explore any type of area. So.
Since you're having so much fun with this, and I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, if we can just go back real quick and tell folks how they can be a part of this program.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, okay. So
we'll just hit on it again.
Oh well, to be part of the program, and not just to request us. If you're interested in astronomy, if you're interested in science, if you're interested in what NASA does in the National Space Missions, like some of the people here are talking about planets and so on. These are solar system ambassadors, you see in this image. We have another image of one was showing about one of the satellite and the space probes and so on, about what we do around, what programs we have going on around the different planets. But if you're interested in this, if you have that love for science and technology and space, and what NASA does, you can actually go to the same website that we mentioned, the solarsystem.nasa.gov, and from there you can actually apply to be a solar system ambassador. Now, to apply, you need to be over 18.
Okay.
Okay, 18 or older. You need to apply in September, because they only open applications in September. That's the only time of the year they open applications.
Okay.
So every September they open applications. You probably won't hear about it till around December, because it takes a while for the process to go through. And then they ask for references. They then reach out. They will actually reach out to your references and talk to them.
Okay.
Unlike what most jobs don't do, they actually do that. And finally, you're notified around December if you've been successful, and your orientation starts in January. And from then on, you're a member.
So now here we are in June. You've got a couple of months to think about it. September will be here before you know it. I would like to thank our guest, Liam Finn, our Solar System Ambassador, to also visit our club website. We've got a lot of great information there. Again, follow up on the website that we gave you for the Solar System Ambassador if it interests you. And coming up next with What's Up in Our Nighttime Sky, as always, is Stephen Whitty. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the next part.
Thanks, Don. What's up in the night sky for June 2017? We have the summer solstice in June, on June 21st. So sunrises and sunsets are about the same time all month. In southern Michigan, sunrise is around 6 a.m. and sunset is around 9 p.m. Since they're about the same, astronomical night starts about 2 hours after sunset, so instead of 9 p.m. it's 11 p.m. And astronomical night ends 2 hours before sunrise, that is 4 a.m. So astronomical night is when the night is really, really darker. The moons in June, the first quarter starts on the 1st of June. And then we have a full moon on the 9th, the third quarter on the 17th, and the new moon, where you don't see the moon, on the 23rd. But then the month ends with a second first quarter moon. As far as I know, there isn't any particular name for a second first quarter in a month. Now, on the 1st of June at 5:45 in the morning, we have a string of planets. We have Mercury, which is in Aries at the beginning of the month, and Gemini at the end of the month. It rises around 5:08 but at the end of the month it sets at 9:59 p.m. That's because there's a superior conjunction on the 21st, so right on that summer solstice. On the first of the month, as it is pictured here, Mercury is 6.5 degrees above the horizon, which isn't too bad. Venus and Uranus are in Pisces at the beginning of the month. Uranus stays in Pisces all month. Venus is in Taurus at the end of the month, so it just moves a little bit. And it rises at 4 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. over the course of the month. But maximum western elongation, this is where it's highest in the sky, is June 3rd. So early June is best for Venus, which is very bright. Since Uranus is really very close, it's just 2 1/3 degrees sort of to the left and a little up from Venus. Venus makes it fairly easy to locate Uranus, which is right at the edge of your vision. Binoculars should get you there. Neptune, you'll need a better sky chart than this. Look it up. It's in Aquarius, where it's been for last year or 3 or whatever. It rises at 2:22 a.m. To about a half hour after midnight over the course of the month. Pluto is in Sagittarius. It rises between 11:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. over the course of the month. It's highest in the sky around 3 a.m. So if you really want to look at Pluto with a 10-inch telescope or better, get a really good sky chart, and 3 a.m. is your best bet. Also in June, but at 9:30 p.m., we're looking at Mars. And we're losing Mars because there's superior conjunction on July 26th, so we're coming close to that. So here it is at 9:30 p.m. It's 8 degrees above the horizon, and it moves from Taurus to Gemini over the course of the month. We happen to have the moon also in the field on the 1st. It's that same moon that we looked at. And then finally we have Saturn, which is in Ophiuchus. It rises 9:55 to 7:52 p.m. over the course of the month. We have an opposition on June 15th, so Saturn is absolutely excellent all month long. It is as close to the Earth as you get. You'll see the most detail in a telescope. You'll see it being brightest. It is highest in the sky at 1 a.m. It doesn't matter too much. It is such a bright object. Jupiter is in Virgo all month, and it had its opposition in April, so it is still excellent basically all month. And we have the moon sort of in the shot as well. And that is what's up in the night sky for June 2017. This show is free, but we may tax your brain.